Hello Yellow class, I hope you had a great Monday. I'm just going to record our session for Tuesday. So as we know from yesterday, this week we are revising the long I phoning. Today we are looking at that split vowel digraph. So that's when the letters, the I and the E, making that I sound, have been split up by a naughty little consonant that has slit between. Again, you've got some words in your pack. You can think of your own words. You can make your own game. So maybe if you played pairs yesterday, have a go at making up a bingo card or a full circle game. Full circle's a little bit more tricky with the split vowel digraph. And you have got spelling shed that you can use to help you spell those words and practice those common exception words. Guide your reading today. Again, I want you to do 15 minutes reading, and then your comprehension question is what words describe. So try to pick a setting that you can describe from one of the books you've read. If it's not a book you've read, maybe pick your favourite story that mum or dad reads to you. So describe the setting and think of some words. So we're going to start counting in twos today. Are we ready? Now let's remind ourselves of that pattern. So 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. Are we ready? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78, 80, 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96, 98, 100. And again, like yesterday, have a go at practice counting. So say count from 22 to 42. See if you can do some of those bits, counting in between numbers. So again today, we are still focusing on addition, and when we're adding numbers together, because we are adding positive numbers together, our answer will always get bigger. Okay? Remember the ways that you were adding yesterday? So you were maybe drawing out the D's and counting those up to get your answer. You might have been partitioning the numbers. So you were adding the tens together and then you were adding the units together. Okay? You might have been drawing number lines to help you. Okay? So those are the sorts of things that I would expect to see and that you should be having a go at using. So again, we put 23 here. We might do 2 tens or 1 jump of 20, and then we would do our ones or maybe 1 jump of 2s. Okay? So have a go at adding up. Yesterday, if you just warmed up by adding together numbers that didn't cross the tens boundaries, then maybe today have a go at that. So when we're looking at that, we're thinking about numbers. So maybe if we were doing 38 add 27, because the 7 and the 8 make 15, you can't put 15 in the units column. That becomes a 10 that gets added on with the other numbers. So have a think about how you want to do that. Try challenging yourself with some of those today. I know I talked yesterday about an extension, about maybe looking at the column method. And again, if you want to have a look at that, you can. It's not essential that you have a go at doing it, but you could have a look at doing that if you wanted. What you really need to think about with the children is the fact that all the units numbers stay one side and the tens numbers stay the other side, and when they write that down, they really have to write it that way, and that we can add up by coming down. So 3 and 1 is 4, 30 and 20 is 50. And it is important, I know as an adult often in my head I just say 3 and 2 makes 5, but you must talk to the children about the fact that it's the tens, so it's 30 and 20 makes 50. If you found that really easy, you could try having a look at adding on some numbers where the tens boundary is crossed. What you might want to do is maybe have something like 26 and that you're adding on 9 rather than having lots of tens. It might feel to the children that they're doing easier calculations because the numbers are smaller, but when you're doing this, you really need them to understand the process and what they're doing. So when you're adding those together, because 6 and 9 is 15, you can't put the 10 and the 5 ones all in the units column. The 5 ones will go in the units column, and then your 10 would come underneath the 2. Okay, so then you've got 20 add 10, which makes 30. Okay, we haven't done this in class. They may find this much more tricky, and it's that idea of the carrying. And although maybe they can do some of these things a lot quicker in their heads, and maybe they can add the numbers very quickly in their heads, when you start introducing this idea, some of the children do find it tricky. And as I said yesterday, I would only maybe be introducing this to a few children in class. It's not something that necessarily all of us would do. So see how you feel. Sometimes people like to look at it just because it is a little bit different and it breaks up maybe the monotony of just doing lots and lots of addition. But you really have to understand what you're doing to be able to do that. Literacy, again, we are still working on our book, Giraffes Can't Dance. Today, I want you to imagine that you are Gerald, that giraffe that can't dance. What would you have said to the other animals? Now have a think. What would you have said at the beginning of the story? Think about what you might say to them at the end of the story, because actually you might have 2 different things that you would think about saying to the different animals. Okay, so imagine that you are Gerald. What would you be saying to the other animals? Okay. Handwriting today, so we're going to write some words with that split vowel digraph in them. So we're going to write the word smile. So we've got our wriggly S, up, down and over for our M, short I, tall L and our E on the end. And we must always remember that at the end. Kite, tall K, short I, tall T, and then our curly E on the end. Bite, so B is tall, all the way down, halfway up, round, into our I, into our tall T, into our E, we cross and dot, and then the last word that we're going to do, we'll do right, so we've got a P, we've got R, we come straight off of that R, into that I, all the way down, into the P, and we've got that E on the end. And today, we are carrying on with our RE and our key concept of gospel and apply. So today we're thinking about how we can apply some of the ideas that we've been learning. Now Christians believe that Jesus was a friend to the friendless, okay? And that's partly why when he picked his 12 disciples, he picked somebody like Matthew, who many people didn't like, because he was showing that his love was really great and that he could love people even that other people didn't love. Okay, and that's a really big part of what Christians think about Jesus. Now today, I want you to think, if you were picking 12 friends, what qualities would you look for in people to pick as your friends? Now you don't necessarily need them to have all of these qualities, but think about what 12 things are really important in the people that you would pick. And then I would like you to draw some images for those qualities. So maybe if you think, I'd really like my friends to be loving, you can write the word loving, and then you might simply draw a heart after it that you can colour in to show that you want them to be loving. Maybe you want them to be funny. So you might you write the word, and then you might draw some people laughing. I'm not really sure I'm up for drawing somebody that's laughing. So we might draw somebody's face with a big smile on it, but do some hair. They always look a bit funny when I don't leave them hair. So have a think, pick 12 qualities that you'd like your friends to have, write them out, and then draw a little image by the side so we can see what you're thinking about. And again, I haven't got the new challenges for the School Sports Partnership. I will put those up on the website. Please do have a go and make sure that you are keeping as active as you can. It's maybe slightly easier these days because you can go out to a few more places and we can go out a bit more than just for half an hour. So have a great Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow, Yellow Class. Bye for now.